At the end of every year, I tend to do a recap of my year. This year, instead of making it a private thing, I'm doing it publicly. Hey everyone, this is Chi, back at it again with another video. If you've never seen my face before, that was on purpose. But this year is gonna be different. I'm a software engineer based in Accra. I've been living here for the past 5 years. I'm Nigerian. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be moving to Berlin, Germany. And I just wanted to come on here and do a recap of my 2020 and also take you guys on a journey later in the year about, my relocation and life in Germany, basically. But that's another video. Today, I would like to do a recap of my 2020 in the same format that you do an HR retrospective. So I'll go through 4 questions. What went well, what didn't go well, what I could have done better, and what I will try next, which is this year. So I'll start with what went well. At the beginning of 2020, I told myself that I had been in Ghana for 5 years and I was tired, basically. I wanted to leave. I wanted a new adventure. So I set my sights on Germany, nowhere in particular in Germany, just Germany, because I've always wanted to speak the language. I knew that the best way for me to relocate to any country, whatever the country might be, would be through a job, because I don't want to go back to school. I was good at school, but I hated it. So I got a job at HelloFresh in Berlin, Germany, as a front-end engineer in April 2020. But because of COVID and everything, I had some delays with my passport. My passport expired, and COVID, everything. I had to push back my resumption date. I was supposed to resume July 2020, but I had to push back my resumption dates, and I'll be resuming 1st of February 2021. So that was one thing that went well for me. The second thing that went well was getting started with design. So for the longest time prior to 2020, I've always envied designers, so to say. I'm a front-end engineer. I never knew how to design. So I'm the type of engineer who you give designs to and I'll produce it flawlessly. But I really wanted to learn how to design for myself. So when the lockdown started, I started learning how to design, and I did this with just one thing, which was just practice, right? So I signed up for 100 days of design, 100 days of UI design challenge, and I started designing every day. And I designed every day for 3 months, and I rapidly saw my skills increase and get better. And right now I am not the best designer, but I can confidently design web apps, mobile apps, and the likes. So it's been a very, very interesting journey for me, and that's something that really went well for me. If you'd like to check out my crappy work, I'm gonna put my Dribble link down below and my Instagram link, because I used to upload to Dribble and Instagram every day, every evening. I'm going to put it down below and you can check it out if you want. The third thing that went well for me was I started investing in stocks. So last year I found out that it's not only good to save money, because I've been saving money for the longest. It's not beneficial to just save money. You have to make your money work for you. You have to invest it. And last year I grew the balls, courage to finally take some money from my savings and invest it. And I started doing that monthly, every month. And I can do another video on that if that is something you guys are interested in. I use an app, a Nigerian app called Tschüss. It allows you to invest in US stocks and Nigerian stocks. So I have a mixture of US stocks, Nigerian stocks, and bonds as well. So that's something that really went well for me in 2020. And I'm really happy about, I'm really excited about, because the road to financial independence is a long road, but you have to start. So that's something I'm really very, very happy about. So the fourth thing that worked for me last year was I grew my relationship with God. So I grew up in a Christian home. I was raised Christian, but I never really knew God for myself, and that changed last year. So last year I started to seek God actively. I became what I like to call a citizen of the kingdom, and I'm really grateful for how far God has brought me, from last year to this year, and I'm still continuing with my journey with God, and it's been amazing. The fifth thing that went well for me this year was I started keeping a summary of the books that I've read. So I'm an avid reader. Every day I spend some time reading. And I'm the type of person who I forget what I read constantly. Like, it goes into me and it changes me, but when I'm trying to recall things that I've learned or things that struck me whilst I was reading the book, I'll always tend to forget. So this year I started keeping a summary of all the books that I've read. I'm doing it right now privately in Notion. I've put some up on my blog. I'll put my blog down below. And I continue doing it privately in Notion, and when it gets to a huge amount, I'm going to release it publicly, because I just want to see how far I can get it to right now. So that's the fifth thing that went well for me last. So let's go through what didn't go well for me. So sometime in 2019, I was contacted by a Google recruiter. At the time, I was due for a talk in Poland. So I had to go give a talk on React Native in Poland. And so I had to delay my interview. So at the end of 2019, I did the first interview and it was successful. So I was passed on to the main interview, which consists of 5 different interviewing steps. But beginning of 2020, I had studied for about 2 months. My interview was February 10th. I remember this date vividly because I was scared shitless. The interview was remote, so I had to do it in my house. And during the interview, at the beginning of the interview, I found out that I made a mistake. So I applied for the front-end engineering role, and I had all the while prepared for a software engineering role. And during the interview, I found out that those were 2 absolutely different things. So inevitably and sadly, I failed, but I came out of it with a fantastic experience. And not too long after, I got the job at HelloFresh that I spoke about. So it was something that didn't really go well for me because I really wanted to get into Google, but we live to see another day. Another thing that really didn't go well for me last year was I wasn't able to keep a regular routine. So I actually drew up a timetable with everything I would like to do in 24 hours. I had every hour detailed for, but the year was shit, basically. It didn't turn out well. We had the pandemic, we had lockdown. Before that, I used to go to work, before 9, come back at 5, and everything was demarcated, my work time, my personal time, but it didn't happen. And that's something that I'm not going to really beat myself up about, because 2020 was not it. So we'll get into the next question, which is, what will I try next? So for me, I have a couple of things I'm going to try next. The first is I want to mentor people. So last year I only focused on one person to mentor, and it was a blast. I was able to mentor her from being an intern at my company to being fully employed. So that was something that I was really, really excited about, and I want to do more of it. So I'm thinking that I will take up about 3 mentees this year, meet up with them bi-weekly, and just help them grow professionally, especially if you want to be a front-end engineer, because that's my specialty. And also I'm going to be taking up some mentees from the Baddies in Tech mentorship program. I'm going to put the link below, so if you want to sign up for that as a girl in tech or lady in tech, sign up for our mentorship program. It's going to be launching very soon, and I'm going to be picking some mentees from there, and I'm going to be following them throughout the year and hopefully see them progress. The next thing that I really want to get into, I want to try this year, is artificial intelligence and machine learning. So I think it's a whole new world to be able to help computers learn on their own. So it's not just about programming the computer and telling it what to do, but right now it's about helping the computer, giving the computer examples and helping it learn by itself. And we all know that computers are beasts when it comes to some certain things. They're better at humans, at computation, at looking at historical data and predicting what to do next or what will come next. So that's something I'm really interested in. My main project with that will be to build an AI model that can help me trade stocks and foreign currencies and possibly make some money. So that's something that I want to get into this year. The third thing is I want to be more consistent on YouTube. So I've been posting sparingly, and most of the posts that I've been making on YouTube have been tutorials on things that I learned and things that were really hard for me that I wanted to make easier for people. So this year I'm going to be more consistent on YouTube. Expect videos on programming. I'm going to be relocating to Germany in the next 2 weeks. Today is the 18th of January. I don't know when I'm going to be releasing this, but I'm going to take you guys on a journey, my relocation, living in Berlin as an African, living in anything that has to do with, because I'm also learning German, so that's something that I'm going to be detailing on this YouTube channel. Also, I'm kind of getting interested in finance, investment, stocks, bonds, the different types of investment vehicles out there. I'm going to be talking about that on this channel and many more other things. I'm a joyful person, so I like to make people laugh, so expect lots of laughs on this channel. And I'm going to be doing this bi-weekly, so feel free to subscribe if this is something that interests you. And that is all. That is an honest recap of my year. And tell me yours in the comment section below, and let's chat about 2020. Let's chat about our plans for 2021, and let's get it rolling. Feel free to subscribe if you like what you've seen, share with your friends, click the notification bell, like the video if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.